through. We've been looking at how it has affected all of us. And so we've been talking, and today we are taking it a step further once more. So today I have with me no one else. We've been looking at how it has affected all of us. And so we've been talking. And today we are taking it a step further once more. But today I have with me no one else. We've been looking at how it has affected all of us. And so advisory consultants, and also the founder of the Alternative School, a business school that helps people to be able to be business savvy. And then recently, Tunde has also started the TeenPreneur Academy, a learning and development ecosystem for teenagers in financial literacy, leadership, entrepreneurship, and technology. You can say that Tunde is highly loaded, full of ideas, and is also making them happen. You are welcome.
Thank you, Charles. It's good to connect with you live after COVID-19 has separated a whole lot of persons.
Yeah.
Businesses have gone back to houses, and then we don't see as regular as we're supposed to see again. So it's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's really, really interesting to meet once more because just like you rightly pointed out, many of us have been working from home. At times I choose to work from home, and I'm sure so is your the same with you too. There are times you have also chosen to work from home, but we've never had a situation where everybody is at home. The children are at home, we at home, the whole family at home, and all of us are trying to get this thing done. I mean, initially for us in my own family, it was like a holiday. We were so happy. But after a week or two, of course, the reality started setting in. And then it became clear that we needed to make everything work together. And so how has it been with you in your own end? Working from home, having the children at home, trying to help them sustain their learning, and everything else going on in between. How has it been at your end?
Yeah, Charles, it's been a whole lot of things mixed together. So I cannot say it's been all good or all bad. So it's been mixed. And I must also say that as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as businessmen and women, one of the things we preach was, or it still is, if you cannot stay back from your business for some time, then you haven't started business at all. This has brought the reality of those cliches to us. Some things you say, you don't really realize how heavy they are until it actually happens to you. I always tell people that apart from being a consultant, I'm also a businessman. In the thick of the business itself, reality has come to stare us in the face. And I must also say this before I forget, that you are one of the persons that also inspire me to take sabbaticals. Let me use the word. I remember 2-3 years ago, you went to America.
Yeah.
And it was 1 full year or thereabouts.
Exactly.
That you stayed away. I remember that vividly because I remember that particular year we couldn't do much. And it was a retreat, even though it was spiritual and all that. But it dawns on me that all of these things that we are saying as consultants, as businessmen, the reality has actually come before now. It's just that we are just seeing it in full glare. So it's been a whole mix of good and bad. And of course, you're able to rest. You become a little bit fresher and all that. But of course, it also gives you the idea of how you should make money without stressing yourself. And I say that COVID-19 has presented that opportunity for every one of us to review all of these things.
Yes, exactly. Taking a leave from work, trying to bond with the family. I think many of us have had quite a load of it within this period. It's really been a lot of people, a lot of families to bond together. And like you rightly pointed out, sometimes we talk about these things in theory, and like you said, the reality is here. And is talking about taking some time off from business, talking about taking it easy. I think one thing COVID-19 has taught everybody is that life is also not about business all the time. It's not about only making money. Yeah, you know, there are other things to life.
I agree with you totally. That is why I jumped into this, your idea of parents turned teachers. You know, it gives us that close reality, or a closer reality. You know, some of us, as you know, we take some time off because we are our own employer, you know, so we can stay at home. But this is actually where you don't have to go anywhere. You have nowhere to go actually, because there's a law backing this one. So you're compelled to do it. Sometimes you want to stay at home, maybe every Wednesday you stay off just to stay with your family. But this one, we've seen 2 weeks, we've seen 2 months. We're going into the 3rd month from March, April, May, and we don't know how June is going to look like. So actually, thanks to COVID-19, in a way, now we can actually stay with our families and bond and check all those extra things that take us off. Review and repair and re-engineer and reposition and all that. So it's good in a way. It's good in a way. So I actually appreciate that in one way, that we can stay with our family and move on.
Yeah, staying with our families and moving on. That's one thought that is really, really key and quite important. And now, having been staying with the family for over 2 months now, and like you said, nobody knows how the next month is going to look like. Nobody can really say for certain what is going to happen. So how have you been able to be able to keep your work going, working from home, and also sustain the learning of the children? Because again, if you look at it critically, the children just have to keep learning, because once they stop learning, it's possible they might get rusty by the time school eventually resumes. How have you been juggling these balls? What can you say has been the secret so far in being able to get the situation under control?
Okay, well, for me, I won't say I'm fortunate, maybe because of the preparedness or the visions that we've always had of making sure that business runs without us, so that we can have enough time for family, putting up structures, imbibing cultures, setting up in a way that our standard operational procedure does not rely on one person, but on system that can run even if that person is not available, especially the main man, that is the CEO, and in this case myself, the directors, and then the partners of the various business ventures that we've gone into. For me, I said I am fortunate in a way that I have 2 teenagers out of my 4 kids. So in my head, I'm thinking it's a lot easier. I'm trying to be empathic with those who have little children now, because you have to start first and foremost making sure that nobody goes into where they are not supposed to go to, the kitchen, the gas, the sharp objects, the toilet, keeping everywhere safe for children to be able to stay for that longer period of time. Unlike before, where by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, they're out of the house and they probably come back 4. So you have lesser time for them to have access to dangerous things or unsafe things or things that are not within their age bracket. TV, parental guidelines, food, access to rooms, access to books, access to equipment and tools and all that. So these things are a whole lot. They are a whole lot, you know. So for me, because I have 2 teenagers that we've been able to train, and because I also run a concern that deals with teenagers, so we've been able to imbibe in them being responsible, being knowing how to be accountable, how to think critically before you take any action, knowing fully whether whatever actions you take is going to affect not just you, but others. And then for the younger ones, I've got, just for information's sake, I've got two girls who are going to be 16 in October. I have another one who was 12 in January, and then the other one was 8 in April, just this past month. So I can say that I don't really have toddlers that you have to start carrying them and all that. So all of them are in school. They are in one way on autopilot. But for the younger ones, of course, change management in the sense that now you have to attend to them. You now become their teachers academically now. And then academics with technology, because they are no more in physical class. They are now in online classes. It's a whole lot, Charles. It's a whole lot. I'm sorry for those who are not able to seamlessly integrate into the new world order, because you must agree with me that some of us parents are now entering into a foray that is very, very new to us, something that we are never used to. Some of us have smartphones that we are not, we're not used to dropping our smartphones for knowledge purposes. We're not used to dropping our smartphones for our children. We're not using to dropping our laptops and our gadgets for our children to learn, maybe for entertainment in those times before COVID-19. But for some of us who are already doing that, assignments are done, checking, using internet to do research, to support their education. It's a lot easier. But at the same time, because we now have to do close marking, if I can use that word, you have to now do micromanagement.
Exactly.
And monitoring what they are doing, checking what they are doing. For example, for my two teenagers who are girls, who are, I can say, young adults, recently I saw that they are in SS2, in the last lap of SS2. They're going to write JAM and then NECO and all that. I saw that apart from the online class, there is a group that they form in their class that is outside of the school, and we were not aware before now until this COVID-19. They now have a WhatsApp group, although as a principal in my house, I didn't give them a personal phone because I thought for now that they are still home, we should be able to monitor whatever they are doing. So we have to give them extra gadgets. We have to get 3 additional laptops, 2 additional smartphones for them, because 2 of them can be holding one phone, doing their assignment and others, because they are not in the same arm of class. One is in science, the other is in arts. So you now discover that after classes, they still hang on to the phone, they still have access to the laptop, they are still there, and you want to like, hello girls, what are you doing? I'm doing our assignment. And then, okay, you're doing your assignments. Sometimes we ask them to put the speaker, for everybody to hear, when their teachers are talking. But because of privacy, you want to allow them to concentrate, so they have their earpiece. But you could notice their concentration has moved to academics, to social, So you want to be sure, okay, who are you chatting with? What are they saying? And sometimes you want to check the phone afterwards, let me see who is chatting. Like yesterday, I just saw a young man saying, reply me, hello, hi, just say hi. They didn't reply. So, all that is change management. I'm not saying it's bad, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying these are things that will happen because it's their age, it's their time. Their phone in a way, and they need to socialize, because in fact, it's even better because while they're in school, they have about 8 to 4, that's how many hours, like 8 hours
Yeah, sure.
You know, to themselves in their class without our knowledge, without our supervision.
Yeah.
They can do all sorts. But here now, we can now see them in person. I cannot know, okay, who is Justice, who is Andrew, who is Temitope, who is Justina. You know, you cannot begin to know, okay, Justina is this. And you begin to see them. So this change has brought to us, for us to now put on our intellectuals, our antenna of reasoning, our antenna of logical reasoning, supervision, observation, attention, and it's draining, Charles. It's draining.
Yeah.
But I must tell you, when you remember that what is draining you now is what will give you peace later on in the years to come, 20 years, 30 years, if we are still alive, you will know that it is something you have to now give your time to. So change management has been something of costly, both financially, emotionally, physically, psychologically, intellectually. You have to up your game. When you ask your child or your words, what are you doing? You have to have that understanding of trust, understanding of questioning, and critically evaluating whether what they've told you is true. Or, I mean, a whole lot. First and foremost, that change management. And I think one way we have done it is to ensure that we, as parents, my wife and myself, we're able to share responsibilities. The phones they are using, we check it every time. The browser history, we give them room to also go on, learn something new. But they should also ask us questions. So we give them that room to ask us questions. It will shock you, Charles, what these children are able to know, even without you knowing that they know those things.
Yeah.
You know, and then it puts on inquiry parents to be able to up their game, learn, read, pray, receive divine. I don't know if this is not out of order.
Yeah, divine anointing.
You know? Yes.
Very important. Very important.
Not all of those things you read in the books are applicable to you.
Yeah.
Even from the best of book writers and people who have the knowledge, you still need your own peculiarities to be understood for you to be able to apply all those things, Charles.
Exactly. And I really love what you just talked about, change management, because this is something that is, I mean, this is something you are experiencing. You didn't read it from a book. It is your experience, you know. And
Charles, this is practical.
Practical. I love that. You know, my children are younger than your children. And so one thing that this period has taught me is that I have to make all the gadgets in the house available for them so that they can...
I'm friendly for their age.
Exactly, I'm friendly. But like you already pointed out, because they are using my gadgets, so I'm constantly looking out what they are doing. When they want to stray, I call them back, because sometimes, because I have to introduce them to an online platform, Khan Academy, which I found to be very good for them to learn mathematics. Yeah. So but sometimes you give them the phones, okay, you go ahead and go do your math class, or you give them the laptop, and by the time you know it, they have strength to maybe
another thing.
Yeah, to go and watch cartoons and all of that. You know, these are all the things that come with it. Like you said, these are all part of the experience. Nobody is, one is getting these experiences live and direct, and one is able to course correct with it and grow with it. You know, but now that we have had this experience for upwards of 2 months, you know, my question would be, is this not becoming overwhelming? You know, like I said, first 2 weeks, no problem. Maybe 1 month, no problem. But here we are, 2 months plus 3 months down the line. Is it not becoming overwhelming?
It is, Charles. It is. I was reading after my interview this morning with the radio station. So I tried to check feedback, and I saw where people said they are tired. You know, they want to go out. They are tired of hearing about COVID-19, the death, the reports, the numbers, NCDC, NCDC, that, and all that. People are also losing faith in government, in ability of government to provide succor and support and give them direction. I am particularly worried about an average Nigerian parent who first and foremost has to or have to take care of welfare.
Exactly.
You know, providing for yourself rent, power, health, medicals, food, security, a whole lot of
no support from the states.
Exactly, a whole lot of things, and then this now comes to you.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, okay, this cup too shall pass. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 9 weeks.
And you're not sure when it will pass.
Trust. A friend of mine told me yesterday and said, Tunde, this is the 9th week I have not been able to do my regular stuff. And I put it in perspective. I mean, 9 weeks is 2 months and 1 week or thereabout for somebody who has been used to something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, without slow transition or slow integration into the new system, cut off. So it is overwhelming. It's overwhelming in the sense that you now have to make adjustments to your regular life, then give allowance for them. For example, my children have a timetable for their online classes, and then because they are also attending another technology-based class, which is also online, you now have to now try to schedule all of that. They are doing writing programs, identifying problems and solving problems, and they are doing their normal academic system. So you want to also do that. Now we have to buy phones, Charles.
Yeah,
we have to.
I can imagine.
You know,
phones and laptops.
Exactly.
In these times,
you now have to also start integrating your processes and software, linking your phone to your laptop, your Wi-Fi, your television. It's a whole lot. So I'm sorry for a regular, normal Nigerian parent that can afford this, that is not even tech savvy.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's for children of parents who can't handle all of this. They are disadvantaged already. They are deprived already.
Exactly.
I'm wondering for people who are going to public schools. So this is overwhelming. And you mentioned, as we are doing the synopsis of this program, where you said, if they are not learning, they become, they become empty.
They might lose track,
They lose track. So you now have to take time to integrate them. So I am honestly worried that I hope parents will not snap. I hope parents will not go into distress. I don't want to say depression because I mean they are our children, but then we don't always have all of us don't have the same limitation, the same elasticity,
the same
resistance,
pressure, exactly.
Resistance, stress management level and co-opting and all that. So for me, it is overwhelming, and that is the truth. But one way I have looked at it is to look at the end from the beginning, where I encourage myself and my wife and say, okay, see, babe, this is overwhelming. We have to adjust this, but let's look at the end from the beginning. What do we stand to gain if we do this, and what do we stand to gain if we don't? What do we stand to lose if we do? What do we stand to lose if we don't? And that has been our encouraging part. And I also look at it that because we brought them to this world, we must have to provide for them psychologically, educationally, intellectually, and all that. So that has been what has been helping us. Of course, the adjustment aspect of it is where we have to now adjust how we eat, how we sleep, how we use data, how we go out and all that. So that has also been something that we have looked at to help us. So for me, I agree with you that it's been overwhelming. And I think one thing we can do is to ensure that as a people, from government to followers, we are able to put our hands together to get this thing out of the system. Because we are not working towards getting solution, a permanent solution, I think we might not adjust to this new order in the nearest future. We might take a longer time. My worry has been that let it not be that when the whole world is now adjusting to it, that is when Africa and Nigeria is just starting to experience their own setback. And it looks as if that is what is happening. Because you'll be wondering why will other countries of the world trying to open up their economy while we are still here and
we're still talking of lockdown.
Exactly. So it's overwhelming. And I think one way we should look at it is to look at the end from the beginning.
Now, talking about looking at the end from the beginning. Now, I'd like to get your perspective. Looking forward, where do you see us going to from here? We need to now look at, in terms of learning, the educational sector. We need to look at, in terms of supporting learning, the economy. We need to look at, the whole ramification of what the future might likely hold for parents, for families, for children. What are your thoughts as a parent who have 4 children? And, we've been passing through this condition within the last 3 months now. So going forward, let's assume the school reopens tomorrow, for example, or it doesn't reopen tomorrow, reopens sometime down the line. What are the changes you envisage happening, going forward?
Charles, is a lot. Honestly, we may not have the time in our hand to exhaust the changes and the things I foresee. First and foremost, education is going to change totally. System of education is going to change totally. Process of education is going to change totally. The end result of education is going to change totally. Now, let's look at it from where, as is situation that I used to say, the current situation as it is. We were about going for second term break when this came to us. Some schools were about to write their second term exams. I'm talking of secondary school and primary school and basic education now.
Yeah, sure.
While some were in the middle of the exams when this issue of COVID-19 actually came. And then there was disruption. So the disruption made a very fast, strange change to our educational system.
Yeah.
We have to rush exams. We have to rush the kids to prepare for the exams. We have to close school abruptly. We have to start introducing some things. So these are signs of what is to come to us.
Yeah.
So we used to have 3 terms in a year, of 3 months or 12 weeks. I don't know but I think that is the system of the 6334.
Yeah.
So this situation has given us the challenge of, are we still going to continue to run our academic system the same way? Our curriculum, is it going to be the same? Now, the number one thing that this COVID-19 has given to us or has thrown to us as a challenge is the issue of technology based. Now, using a technology application called Zoom.
Yeah.
Now, because we have to obey the order of social distancing and commuting. For example, in my school, to move from physical training to online training, you now have to give the opportunities for everybody that is in that class or in that training program, the opportunity to be part of it.
Yeah.
If not, you will be leaving some people behind. Going to apply to the schools. So, how many schools are technologically ready to transit into this new order of online system of education, or people sitting down at home? The parents have to now provide support for that school by ensuring that the gadget that is needed, the facilities that is needed or that are needed are in place. Now, how many parents can do that? So that's number one problem. If it were in the village or rural areas, how are they going to cope with the educational system? Are they going to meet up, or they are going to have a different standard of education for them? For the people in the city or in the urban areas, are all of them at the same pace or the same pedestal? So we need to look at all of those things. These are the challenges that is strange to us. Now, school resume, as you said, or as you're proposing, are we going to have the same number of students or pupils in the classes? Space management, class management, classroom management. We have to have 1 meter space, or
so definitely.
In a class that has 20 students before, 20 pupils before now, they might be having 10. And what does that mean? Reduction in income or increase in cost of expansion, physical expansion, and all of that. So this is one of them. You have to also look at the issue of the school itself, how ready they are to deploy this technology to assist in teaching or making sure that these children learn under conducive environment. Are all children psychologically and mentally ready for handling software, handling gadgets, are they ready, are they prepared? Some children are disadvantaged, disabilities, some can't face cameras, some can't face flashes. You know, all these things are part of the challenges that this is throwing to us. For example, some children that are used to one-on-one teaching and learning because of their capabilities and disadvantages. We're now going to have them learn through visuals. Are they going to cope? Some need that physical attention. For those who are deprived of some normal birth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's a whole lot. Then you have to look at the issue of fees, school fees. Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be higher? Is it going to be lower? Is it going to remain average or all that? That is another area. Then moving forward, commuting, movement, transportation is never going to be the same again. There is this consciousness of sitting beside people, staying with somebody. See, we need to now look at it as a national issue. So what are the policies that are coming out now as regards education? Is government saying anything? Is government giving us new regulations, new framework? Are we going to be doing 3 times a year again? Can we homeschool our children if we don't feel comfortable sending them back to schools where others are because we're not sure of anybody's health? Are we going to have access to somebody's health report or medical report that, okay, it is safe to sit down with this person? There is going to be litigation, there's going to be fights, there's going to be misunderstanding, there's going to be stigmatization, there's going to be a whole lot. So this is the time we now have to look at the issue of parents being contributors, educators being contributors, consultants being contributors, government being contributors, and legislations, all of that, to help us. I mentioned the issue of technology. It's going to be the way forward. But are we really, really ready?
That's a big question.
Are we ready for this? And if we are ready, how ready are we? At what rate can we say, okay, we are good to go? Or at what standard can we say we are good to go? So there's a whole lot of chance. And I think parents will suffer most in all of this because you have to prepare your children. I mean, the teachers are not even physically available again. You know, and that's why you say we are now parents
have turned to teachers, yes.
So all of us are trained teachers or to be with children. We are parents, quite all right, but passing knowledge, passing educational information is a totally different thing from being just a parent, because do you want to show the same kind of love that you have for them as parents while you're teaching them, or do you want to have to go and learn about cognitive abilities and capabilities, quantitative techniques, mathematics, further math or more? It's a whole lot. So the challenges are numerous, but at the same time, it presents us the opportunity to have a better country. You know, I see it as an opportunity to have a better conversation. If we are really, really serious, then we should call an assembly, pardon my Christian language, we should call an assembly of soberness, you know, where all of us have to be sober.
Exactly.
and sit down and think deeply, you know, to look at it and say, are we really ready? Or we are just playing to the gallery?
Yeah, that's the big question. Are we really ready? And I tell you that that question is a whole lot. It's going to take quite a lot to be able to dig in deep and explore and being able to really, really go to the length and breadth and depth and height of that question. And in fact, I like to say here right away that we are going to really have you back on this program to explore this concept. Are we ready? Are we ready for what is coming? Are we ready for the new wave of education that is coming? Are we ready to launch our children into the future that is before us? Are we ready for the economic crisis that is already here? Is already here.
And the dangers.
Yeah, and the dangers. Yeah, so much to look at. And but because we like to keep these conversations short, especially for those who look at it, so that they can take it in very good sizes. Yeah. So we like to leave this question hanging for another time that we're going to interact and be able to explore it, especially as this question concerns parents, families, children. That's our focus on these discussions. So thank you so much, Tunde, for being part of the discussion today on parents turned teachers. It's very wonderful having you here. And of course, definitely we're going to come your way again and bring you back and talk some more. Thanks so much to your family.
Thank you very much, Charles. I appreciate this, and I hope that we all put hands together to support this project and make sure that every one of us learn one or two things and contribute. And I'll be willing to come back again, as you said. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. And wherever you are seeing this from, like we just promised, we are definitely going to come your way again to explore that hanging question. Are we ready for what is ahead of us? So it's a pleasure. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.